Hey, I'm Matt Henley.
And I'm Rain Woods.
And welcome to the Showtime podcast for the Pride of the Mountains Marching Band. Whether you are a current member of the Pride of the Mountains, one of our incredible alumni of the Long Purple Line, or a supporter of the band, we are so happy you tuned in today. I'm Matt Henley, the head director of the Pride of the Mountains Marching Band at Western Carolina University, and with me is our chief student archivist, Rain Woods.
I don't know about you, Matt, but I am so excited to be here today. A bit of background on how this podcast kind of came to be with the start of the Long Purple Line Club this past season. Matt and I were looking for ways to, pun intended, connect our alumni and current bands. With the Long Purple Line stretching as far and as wide across mountains, plains, and oceans, we have a lot of people out there that we want to reach to. So Matt and I came up with the idea of this podcast where we bring in alumni and current members of this band to talk about leadership roles, how the program has changed over time, and where it's heading. But with that being said, for our very first episode, we wanted to do something very special. I'm here with not just our head director, Matt, but also our assistant director, Dylan Engel. What's up, Dylan?
Hi.
And our assistant director, Jeremy Louie, is here on Zoom. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey there. Excited to be with you guys.
Heck yeah. All right, so I really want to take this opportunity to discuss with you guys what to look forward to this upcoming season, and also give current members and alumni the opportunity to get to know you guys a bit better. Especially for any new members listening, shout out to any freshmen in the band this season. We are so excited to march with you guys. But also, especially getting to know Jeremy, because it's his first season with Pride of the Mountains, too. Oh, my gosh. So, Jeremy, tell us a bit about yourself and what you've done with your career so far and what led you to Pride of the Mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. So my career started in Illinois, which is where I'm originally from. Over the last decade, I've been a middle school and high school band director, as well as completing graduate work in conducting down at Missouri State. I was most recently teaching outside of St. Louis. And, I have been a longtime fan of Western Carolina, of the Pride of the Mountains. I shared this with a couple students last week at the summer symposium, but I was at Grand Nationals in 2008. I distinctly remember seeing the band there at that exhibition performance. I've had the pleasure of seeing the band over the course of all these years at BOA events. And of course, certainly in numerous high profile televised performances. And so I've been a longtime follower and longtime fan of the program. And when I saw the opportunity to work at Western Carolina, it really piqued my interest in a way that I don't know if any other job posting ever has or could possibly kind of spark my interest. And so I'm beyond thrilled to be a part of this incredible legacy and joining this program that I've looked up to and idolized for so long.
That's so awesome. And Dylan, you're an alumni of WCU, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. What years were you here?
I came in 2002, but don't judge me. And I left in 2008. Took me a while to kind of grow up, and then I came back from a master's in 2013 and graduated in 2015.
Gotcha. What brought you to WCU?
I did not apply for any other university, or I really didn't have any kind of vision or goals when I was a senior in high school. It was my mom that pushed me out the door. She's like, "You're leaving," and so she really helped me kind of find my place here. And that's, I really didn't, I was one of those kids that never really left home. I just stayed around the family all the time. So when I finally got a glimpse of what this area can bring, I just didn't want to leave.
Gotcha. So what kind of stuff have you been up to since coming back as a director?
Well, I did 5 years in Texas, taught at Porter High School and San Benito High School. Got a chance to kind of start with some friends. We started Genesis Drumming Bugle Corps, and came back because I wanted to be closer to mom and dad, and taught at Tuscola for 9 years with Tim Wise, and the lucky draw came to me for this job, so I'm lucky to be here.
Awesome. And Matt, you also got both your degrees at
WCU. I did, yes.
Nice. What years were that?
It'd be 93 and 95.
Hey. Well, what brought you to WCU?
Well, I've told this story before, but the Cliff Notes version is that this place kind of found me. I was living in Haywood County, grew up in Haywood County, went to Tuscola High School, go Mountaineers, and it was really the closest school with a music program that I could commute to. Grew up in a household. There wasn't a lot of money, for college, but I knew I wanted to pursue music in some way, although I didn't know how at the time. And so I could commute and do it fairly cheaply. So that's the why I'm here. It really was just out of convenience. And then when here, I realized what a great program it was. Then in 1991, I was teaching a band camp at a local high school, and a guy named Bob Buckner came and saw me and said, "Hey, I just got offered the job, and I'm not going to take it unless you'll teach the drum line." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "I'm dead serious." So I did. I mean, it's Bob Buckner. You don't say no to Bob Buckner.
Right, naturally.
And it turned out to be a really, really great ride. They offered me some money toward my master's degree if I'd keep doing it. So I did. And then after that, I kind of was my own product for about 8 years, where I taught in 5 schools simultaneously, and Western was one of my schools. And then private lesson programs, gigging all the time, anything that, writing shows for tons of high schools, working camps all summer long. And that's really when I cut my teeth as a teacher and as a writer and all that stuff. I think it was that 8 years. And then eventually they offered me a halftime job in 1998 here as an assistant director with Bob, who also went halftime at that time. And in 2001, we were both offered full-time positions. So slowly, those other jobs kind of waned away. And so I've been doing it full-time since 2001. And of course, as everybody knows, I got the head job in July, and it's been a humbling and very cool thing.
Heck yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, one really cool thing that I've been able to find in our archives was Bob Buckner's 10-year plan that he made, for, kind of started in 1998 and finished in 2001 to put into place for the rest of the 2000s up until he retired. And one of the first things at the very top of that was, we need full-time positions. Matt's going to be an assistant director. I request this, it's going to happen.
Right. And most of that 10-year plan he accomplished in about 4.
Real.
Because that's the way he operates, so.
Yeah, also with the support of Chancellor Bardo.
Yes, he was a huge supporter of us. I'll never forget his first day on campus. He and his wife were walking their dog, and we were practicing in the stadium. And we hadn't met him or them yet, he or Deborah. And they came in, and they were just immediately, I think, impressed at the hard work of the students and the quality that we were achieving. And he said, "You know what, this is going to be my pet project. This is special." And he just really fell in love with what we were doing, and helped us get some real first, like a first real budget for a band of our caliber and size, and we were growing, and we needed things like uniforms, and we had that support was massive in the growth of the program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, forever grateful for Chancellor Bardo's support. Now, something I want to bring up, since we have a room full of directors, something really cool that we do is we're actually really casual and stuff. I call you Matt. I call you Matt, Dylan, and Jeremy, and so does everyone else in the band. Right. Can you tell us a bit about that, Matt?
I can tell you how it all started. This goes back so long ago. This definitely in the Bob era, very early on in the process, literally 91, 92, 93. He made it very clear that he felt like that college was a gateway to adulthood, and one of the things to break down our barriers for young people to be more comfortable in their own skin and to grow professionally. And if you're constantly calling somebody Mr. Engel or Mr. Henley or whatever, there's automatically a barrier there. There's a hierarchy there, and he wanted to feel like we were working with the students and they weren't working for us. And I've always believed in that philosophy as well, and I've seen it work. I don't think that we need a title per se to achieve respect from our students. I think we earn that every day. And I do feel like, especially when you get into the higher level of the student leadership program that we have, that's so incredible. If I'm working with my archives person, for example, Rain, I want you to see me as a working partner, and I think that first name basis allows that almost naturally to happen. I don't think I need you to call me Mr. Henley for you to respect me. Do you?
No.
No. So I think that's where it all started. It was Bob's way of achieving more of a working partnership with our students, and them learning how it is to work with adults as they grow into adulthood.
Just hearing you say Mr. Henley and Mr. Engel was already
weird, right?
That's not normal. All right, now we got to talk about this season. Man, is this looking to be an awesome season. So many exhibition performances, new uniforms, Long Purple Line Club events, and the second largest band that Pride of the Mountains has ever seen. That's so cool. Like Pride of the Mountains was our biggest in 2019. Our second Macy's year, we had about 535 marchers and staff, which is crazy. I don't know how we all fit on the field. But this season we have, what was it, like about 450?
Yeah, it's in that ballpark, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Super excited. Tons to look forward to. And I just want to know what you guys think about that. Jeremy, what are you most excited for this coming season?
Gosh, I think it'd probably be easier to make a list of the things I'm not excited for, which is nothing. Because I'm genuinely, every piece of the puzzle as it kind of has come to me, and as we're starting to work on stuff, every single bit of it is like, oh my goodness, this is the coolest thing on the face of the planet. Certainly the size and scope of the band is incredible, right? Like, talking about this many people working together is tremendous, right? It's something that we don't see in almost any other part of our lives. This many people coming together, working towards a unified goal. And that's one of the things that's just so special about this activity across the board. Obviously, there's a lot of that's very special and unique to Western Carolina University. And I'm really excited to get to see all of that firsthand, get to have my eyes open to all of this stuff that, I've kind of seen from afar and been, a witness to and a spectator of, and now to get to be a part of that is really, really special. And then kind of the extension of that is, it's a lot of new people, and, to be totally honest, I'm a little intimidated by meeting and learning all these new people's names, but it's an exciting challenge. And I'm really looking forward to meeting and working with all these different students that come from all across the campus, right? Not just our music ed majors, who certainly in my other coursework that I'm teaching will have a lot of interaction with, but as well as meeting and working with students from all across campus and all different majors, and how that all comes together in really special performances every weekend in Cullowhee and outside of Cullowhee, all across the region this year.
Heck yeah, dude. I will say, Jeremy, you got a lot of history of this organization to be caught up on. So if I ever just steal you and take you down to 158 and just give you the most not brief crash course of our history, don't let it take you off guard. It's my job. All right, Dylan, what are you looking forward to?
Well, since coming in my second year, I feel a little more comfortable. I think it's going to be a drastic change for me from last year, just because I felt like when I came in, I was just helping Matt pick up some loose ends and really try to keep the morale high and just have a good show, have good entertainment. But it's a little different now. The simple fact of I know mostly everybody. I still every once in a while I'll see somebody that'll come up to me like, "Hey, I'm in the band." I'm like, "I've never seen you." But I feel like I'm more comfortable. One, because I have a more connection with the people that I'm in front of. I'm helping, and the energy is awesome. It is fantastic, especially with all the buzz, going into band camp in the next 2.5 weeks. So I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that connection with them and having that growth through the season. And I mean, there's a lot to say in just that alone. So that'll be a lot of fun. Another thing that I've got a lot, just like Jeremy, but I am getting a chance to put my notes on the page this year. So it brings a little different, brings different feels, if that makes any sense. Especially when you get to see your all the work happen on the field when it's live, and get to see the action and see them perform. That's a big change for me this year. So it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to our trips. I think really connecting to the states around us and getting out and meeting kids and directors that we don't know, and convincing them that we're the best band. And so we're going to kind of get a little more action with that. I think that's really good for Western Carolina and especially the people around us that are kind of looking in. And obviously, coming out of the high school years, I feel like it's a little more comfortable being in an office with two other directors. You're not kind of working by yourself. You're working with a team, and not only that, just getting to know the staff codes and the section leaders. And I just feel like it's just a snowball effect at this point. it's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really bummed when we had to miss out on our Cobb County exhibition in Inca last season, but I'm so happy that we're going to get to it this season. So I totally agree with that. Matt, what are you most excited for?
Oh man, I tell you, I'm humbled to be surrounded by an incredible team right now. I feel like that we have assembled a team that's second to none. I will always be indebted to my buddy Tim Wise of 30 plus years, and Dylan's friend as well, for coming in last year and kind of saving the day, coming in with his expertise and his knack for organization and really helping us to organize some things that had gotten disorganized. But now, we got Jeremy Louis flying in here, and just obviously he's very excited, and that energy bleeds into me. And Dylan's excitement. I'm currently loving writing the percussion book with Dylan this year. I think that is a totally different level of investment that you have when you're putting the notes on the page. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, so the team is incredible. Jada Copeland, our staff coordinators, are just excellent this year, and I really feel like going to our staff retreats and stuff. I mean, there's not a weak link anywhere in our team. I mean, all the way through the entire thing. So I'm super excited to work with the student staff. That's always such a pleasure for me, and I learn more from them, I think, than they learn from me a lot of the times. Definitely you, Rain. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're amazing. But so that just working with a team. I think there's nothing more special in life than working with other people toward a common goal, like Jeremy was saying. I think that's what makes band incredible. That's why I think the world would be a better place if everybody had been in band at least once. I think that you learn a lot about teamwork and about leaning on one another and helping each other when they're having a tough day. I think it's incredible. I am very excited about the show. I think that this thing is going to be incredible, but more importantly than that, just the fact that it's going to allow me to continue to make the alumni important. One of my biggest goals last year, as you know, was to rekindle and reconnect, if you will, us with our alumni. Not that they've been ignored or anything like that, but I don't feel like they really fully understood how much they were appreciated, which is why I wanted to start the initiative of the Long Purple Line Club, the affinity group that we're running through the alumni office. And as you know, we've built that. We did a little mini tour that was super fun. We're going to continue to try to build on those things next year. Got a couple of things up our sleeve as far as our alumni is concerned. Even our store and doing alumni things for that, upping our merchandise game. I just feel like every aspect of the program is getting better very quickly, and I'm excited about all that. I am excited about the travel. This will be the first time ever that I'm aware of, certainly during my time, that the band has gone off campus 4 times to 4 states. That has never happened. So I'm with Dylan in that I think that getting in front of some new audiences, some new parts of the country we really haven't been to before. I'm super excited about that, and because I do feel like that when we go and we exhibition, it's not necessarily just about the performance and showing off and having fun and standing ovations. We all love that. That's really what we play for. But it's also just connecting with those communities. I think that those students, when they see us, a lot of times they get inspired. And that's what it's all about. If we are inspiring anybody out there as a student in high school that loves the marching arts, the pageantry arts, and they want to continue on, whether it's with us or not, that's exciting to me, because that's just fueling what we do and for the future, So I'm very excited about that. I also feel like we're finally, not just us, but so many programs around the country right now are finally kind of coming out of the COVID era, if you will. I feel like programs are finally rebounding and getting their feet back underneath them and being healthier. We definitely are as a program. And I personally give a shout out to all the high school and middle school directors out there that have battled that and have continued to keep their programs alive and continue to have very solid instrumental music education programs, because we see it. We're seeing incredible freshmen this year walking in the door. Like Dylan and I were talking about, who did a lot of the auditions, just the level of talent of the freshmen just in general and across the board is so strong this year. So I think we're just in for a great time. And I guess the last thing I'll just say is just that I think it's very cool when our veteran members and they get to meet the new members and seeing that passing of the torch, if you will, and bringing them into the family and sharing the traditions of the band and just seeing that next generation come in the door and knowing what's in store for them. That's always very exciting to me.
I love that you mentioned the sharing of the traditions. Look, I'll never remember what I ate for breakfast this morning, but I will always remember the first time I did the Showtime chant
Right.
in 2019. I will never forget that. Well, you know what I'm most excited for? You brought it up. Putting this incredible show on the field. We got to talk about the show. Our 2025 show is entitled Connected, and it's all about connecting to our roots, our history, and our incredible alumni of the Long Purple Line, and how that connection makes us stronger. So the idea of this show, Matt, you had mentioned at Long Purple Line Club Tour.
Yeah.
It's a show idea that you've had kind of brewing for a while. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bands out there that have done, tributes to past shows or tributes to their alumni, but it's more about the past shows, and I felt like that we as a program could maybe be a little bit more slick than that, because really when you're doing a show, yes, it's wonderful to honor our past, but it's also about celebrating the future, and it's also about celebrating the here and now, the students that are doing it right now, and I think this show is going to do exactly that. So yeah, this Connect show is going to be pretty cool. The first movement's, the human connection, that's really about the current band. That's really about the excitement of what we're doing now, and how we obviously doing it together, which we've talked about this whole time. It's just about us all doing our part and doing that. The second movement's about connecting with our community. I think that this past year really enlightened a lot of our students and even myself about what community really means with the hurricane, Helene, and all of that, and living that together. Which is why we're going to be doing Bridge Over Troubled Water and all this stuff as a shout out to our community and the connection we have with them, and always will. Third movement's about kind of connecting the dots. How does it all piece together? And we'll be actually having little stage dots all over the field and some drill that'll connect them, and that's going to be super cool, sonically and visually. It's going to be very, very fun. And then the last movement's definitely about connecting with the alumni. We talk all the time about standing on the shoulders of giants, which are our alumni. And so we will be playing You Raise Me Up and some other tunes that reflect that. And we got a couple of surprises in there too. I'll let one out of the bag right now. I'm currently working with our uniform company to replicate the very first uniform ever worn in Western Carolina. And that's going to be in the show this year. And it's going to be about, passing the torch from who we were to who we are now and who we want to be. So all that's, you're going to see that in the show this year. And I think it's going to be very, very meaningful to a lot of people.
Yeah. Tons of throwbacks in the shows to things that we've done in previous shows.
Yeah, you're going to hear some quotes out there. If you're an alumni, you're going to hear some various quotes throughout the show. One in particular that comes to mind is actually in the opener. We're playing 6 measures of exactly what we played on the Star in 2019. It's at the end of the opener. So moments like that are just going to pop up and take our alumni by surprise. But to people that don't know those tunes or whatever, it's still going to be super fun. It doesn't matter who you are. So it's going to be great.
My heart, 2019 will always have my heart. I'm so glad that we could talk about the throwbacks that we feature in the show, because as chief historian who has dedicated the last year to becoming as familiar as possible with as many of our past shows as possible, I just gotta say, man, I don't think it's enough. So with me today, I have brought a detailed list of all the other throwbacks to cool things that we have done in our shows that I think that the three of you should implement into this season's show. You have till the first game to figure it out.
Here we go. Okay, I'm being blindsided. All right,
first of all, I think we should bring back the huge inflatable purple guy from 2009, Born to Be Alive.
Frank. We nicknamed him Frank.
You called him Frank?
Frank has his name.
That's crazy. I love it. All right, I think we should bring back the human gyroscope from 2013, Generation Next.
No, I don't want to see vomit again. No.
Dylan agrees with me. Dylan agrees with me on that. I think we should throw back to the 1960s when they would light the batons for the twirlers on fire. But since we don't have baton twirlers in our current band, my solution for this is to light the silks of the flags on fire.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Have you met our fire marshal on campus? I don't think you would like that very much.
Okay, but I've met our color guard, and they're super talented. I'm sure they can handle it.
Okay, we'll put that down on the list of things we'll never do. Keep going.
All right, I think we should bring back the sousaphone headbang visual from 2011 Club Swagger.
That was a good one.
And I think we should bring back the giant tunnel that doubled our drumline size in part 3 of 2021 Invincible.
We don't need to double them. They're big enough as it is.
And I think we should cover up the rhythm section scaffolding to look like a double Dutch bus like we did in 2007 on the move.
I like that. That's good.
That was a good one. That was fun.
All right, if these changes are not implemented by the first game, there will be consequences.
Okay, all right. Noted.
All right, but...
So many great memories, though. You're right.
Oh, so many. God, I love looking back at our old shows. But going back to the current show, Not only is the musical selection incredible and the instructional leadership team that we got lined up to help make it look and sound incredible, but Matt, I love the message that you picked for this season. You know, ever since you announced it, I've kind of seen it as an archive show, not just in the fact that it's featuring all these cool things that we've done in past shows, and also highlighting how awesome the Long Purple Line is. But it's really made me think about what I want my staff to prioritize in our work. Connecting the current band and the alumni through our shared history is the purpose of archive staff. And it's really made me look at all the other shows that we've done before and made me realize that so much of what we preach through our shows, through our art, are things to live by. And I absolutely love that. So with the show coming up, this amazing show that we're going to be putting on the field this season, you know, band camp's coming up. We got a lot of work to do. So how are we going to get started with that?
You're not kidding. Yeah. So, band camp's on the horizon here. August 4th, our student staff moves in. They have basically a day and a half of work to prepare to get ready for everybody. Wednesday, all of our freshmen, as well as all our percussion and all of our color guard check-in. That's our largest check-in day. It's Wednesday the 6th. And then the veteran wind players show up on that Friday. And the reason we do it that way, by the way, is we've got a really cool program called the RPP. It's the Rookie Pride program, where we give mentors to every single freshman walking in the door. So they, breaks down barriers, I think, and it allows them to ask questions and not feel uncomfortable, for 2 or 3 days, and teach them the traditions of the band and play in March, of course, some, but and getting to know their freshman class too. I think it's important for them to know their fellow classmates. So I think that's all pretty cool. And then we're off and running. Yeah, we'll learn pregame on Sunday night, and then we'll start on this Connect show on that Monday morning, bright and early, and get rolling. We'll also have several kids marching Drum Corps International this summer, so those kids will be rolling in on Sunday after a very busy summer. Very proud of all those kids. They are working so hard right now. Mm-hmm. And then, it's just crazy, though, because as soon as we finish band camp, a solid 2 weeks of camp, next thing you know, we're doing a game earlier than I can remember in a long time, August the 30th. And then we also will be doing a thing called Catamount Classic, like the next weekend in September, where we're bringing in, it's a percussion festival, marching percussion festival, where high school groups bring their groups in. And we have 2 amazing world-renowned clinicians, Colin McNutt, who actually teaches Boston Crusaders, and Mike Bishop, will be our front ensemble guy. He teaches at Carolina Crown. Anyway, they're going to get to work directly with these high school groups that come in for all day long. And then we'll do an exhibition with our group and some group drumming and all that fun, loud stuff. And then the next weekend, September 13th, that'll be our second game, but it's also band day. So, any high school band directors out there that want to bring their kids and be a catamount for a day, get to go out there on the field with us and perform, and then get to watch the game, and comes with a shirt and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, come out and hang out with us. It's always a good time. But, yeah, and from there on, it's just pedal to the metal the rest of the season. It's a fast and furious year, that's for sure.
Heck yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right, well, Jeremy, Dylan, anything else you guys want to say before we head out?
Nothing else to add other than I'm just unbelievably excited, and I can't wait to, finally physically move the rest of my stuff to North Carolina and get to be in person with all of you here very, very soon.
Mm-hmm. We can't wait for you to get here.
I just want to say thank you for creating this. I think this is great. This shows a lot of leadership and what we can do as far as communicating to the alumni, and just wanted to personally thank you for doing this.
Of course.
Well, thank you, Dylan and Jeremy, for sure, for joining us in this first episode. And as always, thank you, Rain, so much for all of your work behind the scenes to keep our band progressing. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Showtime podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode. A special thank you to our main man, Mr. Sam Wallace, for helping us out always with the technical side of things, and everyone who supports the Pride of the Mountains Marching Band. Shout out to our friends on the Western Wednesdays podcast. Be sure to check them out to stay connected with WCU alumni.
Long Purple Line, can't wait to see you cheering in the stands, and current members, can't wait to see you on the field.
And of course,
Go
Cats!